Hello there. How are we doing today? We have a couple of things to cover right quick today. One, we're definitely going to have a nice little lunar eclipse tonight, which I'm going to get some information to put out, which is primarily what I'm doing this for. But in the interim, I wanted to share a little something. I don't know. You probably have seen it on the news, but there's a nasty glacier mountainside collapse. It fell like 4,000 feet into a river basin, and water is coming up from everywhere, and it's just making a huge tsunami wave, wiping out. I mean, this is going through a channeled a river valley, and it's oh my dear. This has been edited so you don't actually see people getting whacked, but they're still not entirely sure where all the water came from and what all really happened. At first, they thought it was an earthquake that then caused the huge glacier and side of the mountain to collapse and fall into the river valley, which then produced this massive wave wiping everything out in its path, and it is a huge wave. But they have since upped things up as far as last I heard this morning. No earthquake. What they thought was an earthquake was actually the impact of the glacier and the side of the mountain breaking free and falling down 4,000 feet, smacking into the river basin and causing there's massive flooding, and this is this is ice, water, snow, cement. I mean, you name it, it's in there, including cars and people. This is just clearing a path like nothing in the world is going to stop this thing, man. This is in Tibet, right on the Chinese Tibet border. But yikes, man, yikes. Oof, scary shit. Well, one thing, as you're quite aware of, is our son's been incredibly active and having fun with us. We've been getting the past week, past couple of days, we've had a lot of these class M. These are like the second highest you can go as far as solar flares and energy being sent in our direction. And we've had a couple of them, a little break, and then a couple of them, and we're still, it's still coming at us. Plus, also you can see right here, my dear God, look at that opening. That is where that solar wind is just flowing out of there. All this plasma up around here is being pushed aside. Here's a solar flare that just went off right here. And there's like a CME. And by the way, if you're wondering, the Earth could probably fit right inside that. Right, the tip of my finger. That's probably about where the Earth would be. So that's how big this is. And that's just, whoa. So again, if you're having some radio issues or some aurora borealis action, here's why. Some people, depending on the radiation levels and the type that hits, actually, some people are feeling it. They start getting a little irritable or different. That this, they're because Earth is so heavily being bombarded and hit, and our magnetosphere is just doing the best damn thing it can. But still, it's extra energy coming in. Some people feel a little funky on a full moon because it's extra energy, radiation bouncing off the sun or coming from the sun, bouncing off the moon and coming back down. Why they theorize why people get weird on a full moon because it's extra energy that they're not used to. Well, this is kind of the same thing, but it's happening during the day and during these breaks. So facts, I don't know. It makes sense to me, so I'll roll with it. I'll roll with it. Prove me wrong, prove me right. That's not an issue. Again, we have the solar eclipse. No, we don't. No, we don't. We have a lunar eclipse coming up tonight. As in, this is Thursday, the 27th of August, 2026, and we have, depending on where you're, whoops. See, we have a lunar eclipse coming up, and depending on where you live, there we go. That works a little bit better. Depends on how much you're going to see. Now, if you're back east, and you're gonna get to see a full total eclipse. If you're in this basically kind of like this mountain range band coming through here, you're gonna see a good partial, half or better. And then if you're out over in this band, and you'll see a little kiss coming off of it, but not much. So, and of course, like I'm right here. That's right about San Francisco Bay Area. So depending on what we'll see and where. But anyhow, if you're back east, or hell, 2/3 United States, gonna have a nice little nice little view. This is going to begin around 6:23 p.m. Pacific time. I'm not giving you Mountain or East Coast. You can look it up for yourself. But it's supposed to start around 6:23 p.m. tonight. They're also, calling it a blood moon. Okay. Yeah. And it should end by about 10:51 p.m. Pacific time. So, take some pictures of it. Be careful when you hold a camera up to it. It's a lunar eclipse, so don't worry. But you will suddenly, with my camera, see the moon and suddenly shoot way far away, and you're wondering, well, what's going on with my camera? Nothing. That's really where the moon is as far as your camera's looking, because it doesn't have a brain in there trying to go, I don't understand what's going on, and foreshortening, making it look bigger and bringing it forward. When in reality, depending on your camera, you pull it up, and also, the moon's this teeny little dot way up over there. Well, that's really what it looks like. Just, our brains don't like confusion, so we see it foreshortened, so it's also, it looks so much bigger, and we can see it right here. Because we like it that way. That's why sometimes the moon seems a lot bigger if it's like down on the horizon or near a mountain range or something where you can see it. Also, it seems like much bigger. And then as it goes up a little further up in the sky, it kind of gets a little smaller. That again, it's your brain trying to go. So anyhow, this should be fun. I don't know if I'm going to be live with this or not. I don't know. I didn't even think about that until right now. Yeah, we'll find out in a couple hours. We'll see. But anyhow, be careful out there, guys. We're still getting a lot of fun energy coming from our sun. We're gonna have a nice little lunar eclipse tonight, starting about 6:23 p.m. Pacific time. So keep looking up, enjoy, behave yourselves, and ciao.